Step into the Fieldhouse, your front row seat to legendary victories and untold stories. Hey, I'm your host, Lance Leonard, breaking down sports from the inside out, along with co-host Jimmy Lackey. It's more than just a game. It's the Fieldhouse Podcast. Hey, welcome into the Fieldhouse Podcast. We're a production of the Kids Inc. Sports Network. Always glad to be here. I'm your co-host, Lance Leonard. We have the man, Jimmy Lackey, here as well. Jimmy, you know the drill. What's the best thing that happened to you today?
Man, we do this so early in the morning. Here's what I got done. I blew it yesterday. I made up for it today. So my wife's been teaching and principaling for 36, 37 years. Every year on the first day of school, I always send her a plant or send her flowers. I forgot yesterday. I thought about it going to her.
Her first day was yesterday.
The kids started yesterday, and I was on my way to Hereford yesterday, and I thought about it, and then I got busy over there, and I forgot about it. And we're sitting there cooking supper last night, and Hallie's at the house, and we're cooking, and Colton called, Hallie's fiance, and she goes, "Thank you for my flowers." And I went, "Oh." Oops.
That was a double rub-in, huh?
First thing on the way to work this morning, I called Floral Shop. She said, "Anything?" She goes, "What do you want to put on the card?" I just said, "Just put oops."
I love it.
I'd sent her a plant and some roses today. So
you double did.
I made up. Hopefully I won't be in the doghouse when I get home.
Did she say anything?
No, she didn't say anything, but she knew.
Yeah.
I know she knew.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. She knew. I just blew it. I mean, after all these years, I just blew it.
I love that. That's a good one. Man, we got hail the night before at my house, a lot of it. And
was it big?
Yeah, I mean, at our house, it wasn't baseball or anything, but, I mean, golf ball is nasty enough, you know what I mean? So no broken windows, but the car got beat up pretty good. And then we're in the process of putting on a new roof as we speak, so we're not going to be able to benefit from that at all, but a lot of neighbors. But I've been cleaning up, man. I mean, the trees, which we had cut back, still got hit pretty hard, and so there's a lot of work to do. I can only imagine, I mean, and like a hurricane, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine, you know what I mean?
Well, it's like back in May when the tornado hit 2,900 feet north of my house, and 15-plus roofs are taken off those houses.
Yeah.
You know, nobody was hurt, but it's like you say, we take so much for granted.
We do.
You know.
We do. Yeah.
But I will tell you, my daughter and son-in-law, my middle daughter, they live north and west of Canyon, about 3 miles. And I was out at their house the other night, and they had not got any big hail. They missed all the other hail like we got, and got our roof totaled and all that stuff back when we got the big stuff. They got it the other night while I was there, and guess whose truck was outside?
Oh, my God.
My truck is toast.
Wow.
Busted my windshield.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
My windshield.
They were golf ball. I mean, they were. And it did
that's scary.
And it did it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. When they hit the house, you're like, or hit a window, you're like, I forgot how violent it is.
They have windows in their garage on the west side, and we kept waiting to see if any of them were going to bust, but they didn't.
You know, I do keep a football helmet around now, though, for that purpose.
That's funny that you say that. So Luke was telling me when they were kids, him and his dad were out in the shop, and his little brother was in the house, his mom was somewhere, and they told Connor, he was 8 or 9, they said, stay in because it's supposed to storm. And so sure enough, it starts hailing and it's coming down, and Luke and his dad are out in the shop, and they look out this hole where they could see out there, and there's Connor on the back porch thinking, man, can I dart? And then they're going, no, you stay there, stay. So he runs back in the house, and they're going, okay, good, he's not going to do it. And they look back out. He comes out with a football helmet on, and here he comes across there, and they open those doors and let him in. They said he wasn't staying in there by himself. He was coming out there to be with Dad and brother.
That's pretty smart of him.
Yeah, Luke was telling me that story the other night. I was cracking up.
Yeah. I take one camping, just in case, things like that. Yeah, so that's awesome.
I don't know if they make them big enough to fit my fat head anymore.
There's some big helmets out there, trust me. So, Hey, today's number 53 podcast, Jimmy, and 53, if you really go back and look at it, and just in general, probably one of the least famous numbers worn by a lot of people. You know, it's a lot of linemen, and and I'm not saying they didn't do their job. It's just not many people have worn that.
They're not your skill folks.
Yeah, and even in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, if you look at it, there's like 4 or 5 guys, but 3 of them are probably nobody's ever heard of from way back. So I did have to look it up because I really didn't have any friends who wore 53 either, or inspired me. But I did look it up, and one of them is really famous. One of them I totally remembered, okay?
Okay.
The other one I did not. So
What you got?
I've got Don Drysdale, obviously.
He's the face in the book.
He's the face now. He's before our time,
Sure.
obviously, but we knew about him and Sandy Koufax with the Dodgers. Married Ann Myers, who was the great basketball player and Olympian-type player for UCLA. But then Harry Carson for the Giants. As Cowboys fans back in that day, everybody remembers Harry Carson.
Oh, yeah.
Massive linebacker, big 53. What wasn't Lawrence Taylor, but he was on that level.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He was good. No, he was good.
And he's in the Hall of Fame. So those are 2 I'm throwing at you today.
Okay.
And I don't know if you played with somebody up in Dumas or was a fan of somebody.
No.
Anything like that?
But Carlton Bogus sent me a name.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Carlton's this time.
Okay.
Bob Brunig from the Cowboys.
Yes.
Linebacker.
Yeah. Very
I wouldn't have remembered that.
Very
and he's not even
popular
listed
guy.
in the book, so I
Yeah.
would not have remembered that. I would have had to pull that. I'd had to dig to find that one. But Carlton sent that to me yesterday. He goes, "Hey, enjoyed the podcast yesterday. 53 Brunig." And I said, "All right, there's my number for this week." But
54 is going to be so easy. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
it is for me.
Yeah. And there's a couple of them, actually.
Yeah,
that
there's some
are
good
so easy.
54s.
And we'll have some stories with the 54s. But, this is our 53rd podcast. By the way, we're falling behind a little bit. You know, the Kelsey brothers signed for whatever, $1 million with whoever has them on. I'm not sure where they are now. But guess who they have on tonight as we speak for their podcast? It's none other than Taylor Swift.
Well, yeah, she's announcing her album and all that good stuff. So
On their podcast.
Yeah, that's rough, isn't it?
Can you imagine?
And I know there's a lot of Taylor haters out there. I'm not one of them. I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. The business model that she put together as a young kid fascinates me.
Yeah.
So that's the
she's
side
a
of
businesswoman.
Oh, that's the side of it that I'm so impressed with.
And that's her. They're not fiance or anything yet, but that's her boyfriend. Yeah. Travis Kelce plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Their podcast, when it first started, it was so hilarious, so fresh. Now it's kind of a little too planned out, in my opinion. And it's a little rough language for anybody who doesn't like.
They're harsh. Yeah, definitely harsh.
They drop a bunch of F-bombs on that. But I will say it used to be really, really good. I'm just going to tell you because it was off the cuff, kind of inside the NFL, their experiences, things like that. You know, one thing they have massive respect for anybody. They know how hard it is to be an NFL player.
Sure.
I mean, even the guy running down on kicks. Okay, they have mad respect for anybody who tries to do that, and they're really good at not disrespecting the players. You know what I mean?
Jason knows what it's like to be in the trenches.
Yeah, he is the tush push.
Yeah, he did it for a long time, and that's not easy to do. Those big boys. You know, we had a friend from home, Brian Millard, played on the offensive line for many, many years, and that's not easy to do. And Brian did it with I'm sure he had injuries along the way, but he didn't miss many games at all. And
he's probably the greatest lineman in the history of this whole area. One in the state of Texas, first of all, because he's Seattle Seahawks, one of their greatest ever to do it. So when you see him, or if you've seen him lately, is he beat up? Is he?
No, he looks great. He came out to Dad's golf tournament a couple 3 years ago. He's all trimmed down. I mean, Brian looks really good.
Yeah,
I mean, he's taking good care of himself and smart, good businessman. Keeps to himself. He's not one of those showboats. He's You know, it's funny because
does he live back?
He lives in Austin.
Oh, in Austin!
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, he's back in Austin.
Yeah.
Of course, that's where he went to college.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And so, what's funny is, and Carlton will tell you this: when we were young, Carlton was big. Carlton was a big boy, and Brian called Carlton tiny. There's nobody else in town that could have called Carlton tiny, except Brian. And so, now Brian's all fit and trim, look good. And I got pictures of him at Dad's tournament a couple years ago. And Carlton's back to being a little bit bigger than Brian again, but he still calls him tiny.
Those guys play over 300 pounds.
Oh my gosh,
They've got to get out of that as fast as they can if they want to live a life at all.
Yeah.
They know it too. There's a reason they put on all that weight or how they put it on. So they're able to. The smart ones are able to get that done within a year or two. Because they got to get out of that.
When we get to 71, he'll be my favorite all time.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. So, yeah. By the way, Emerald High's offensive line this year averages 300 pounds, Jimmy.
Wow.
Emerald High.
That's crazy.
It's the biggest I've ever heard.
Saw where they were picked second in the district.
Right. Biggest in the history of
AISD.
Of anybody I've ever averaging that. Now, we've had 300-pounders.
Yeah.
Speaking of big, the largest human being I've ever been around is Shaq, obviously. But, like high school-wise, Laquan McGowan from Boys Ranch, when he played there, when you were next to him, you're like, 23 size feet, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen.
I remember when Bucks was trying to find shoes for him.
Yeah, and the Miami Dolphins came up with him
did.
for him. Yeah, they tapped into Zach Thomas. So
Yep.
I will say this, though, man. He could catch a ball with the best of them. I don't know if they realized what they had. Maybe they should have put him at fullback.
He was a big boy.
And see what happens, because he got bored blocking 5-10 kids
Yeah.
in front of him.
That wanted to just run from him.
Yeah, and he would just shove him instead of actually blocking. But had a nice little career at Baylor, as well. So I think I don't know what he's doing now, but I think he was trying professional wrestling, things like that. So
wow.
Yeah.
I just remember Roger and them hunting shoes for him.
Yeah, and it ended up being the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
So as I
That's
understand,
crazy.
well, Shaq actually
got
I think
involved.
gave him some tennis shoes.
He did. Shaq got involved in that.
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, that's amazing. So
Yep.
man. Speaking of that district, or the old district, the Little Southwest Conference, and I'm not trying to be controversial with this at all, but I'm going to throw this at Jimmy. Last night in Midland, the school board voted 4-3 to change Midland Legacy back to Midland Lee.
Really?
Yes.
I've seen propaganda out there about it, I guess is the best way to put it. I've been seeing stuff in social media. Just those old school people wanted it to be Midland Lee. I don't. Beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I'm surprised.
But the expense for the school district
I'm
to
surprised you would go back.
Yeah, why would it even be up for a vote
Yeah.
is what I wonder.
Yeah, that's, we went through that here when they decided to change Robert E. Lee to Park Hills.
Yeah.
And, and now that school's closed. But I can tell you the expense involved when we changed from West Texas State University to West Texas A&M University.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. And every piece of letterhead, every sign on campus, everything that has something with your monikers on it, your logos, et cetera, your brand, has to be done. And
Yeah.
all done over.
And
It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Yeah, and there's no way they can get that done before school, school starts this
Every
week.
jersey, every single thing that you've got, it's got to be changed out.
I was very surprised by that.
I didn't hear that, but I'm a little surprised by that. I don't know why you would go back.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't even know why it would be allowed to be a conversation.
Yeah, but I don't live there.
I don't either.
And you know as well as I do, money talks, and there's a lot of money in Midland, Texas.
There is a lot of money in Midland, Texas.
Go to one of those big golf tournaments down there and watch the little Calcutta process,
Yeah.
and you'll get what I'm talking about. There's a lot of money.
I think
folks.
Emerald High, one of their wingdings, Jimmy, was like in the $300,000 range, which I was like, oh my gosh! And then they just said, well. Midlands was $1.2 million.
So they're north of $1 million easy on some of those down there.
Yeah. But that's kind of a shocker to me.
I had not heard. that.
Obviously it's for political reasons why they changed it, because of the association with the name Lee.
Sure.
What it mean? What it is associated with.
Yeah.
So shocked. I'm shocked, quite honestly. So, but. We'll probably read more about it. I may have I know a couple of sports writers down there. I might try to get one on my show just to see what his thoughts were. I usually don't want to go too deep on the political part of it, but it's there. I mean, they changed it. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
I've not heard that.
Hey, we talked last podcast, so school started this week, like you just said.
Yeah.
Is it too early? Doesn't matter
For
anymore?
me, it is. Well, to me, it is. And I go back to your people in the tourism business lose out on a couple of weeks in August, heat of the summer.
Yeah.
I go back to I started school right after Labor Day. I think we turned out okay.
Yeah.
We were out before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I think we all turned out okay.
I think it's enough school.
School buildings are hot. You got to cool them down even more so. And if your air conditioning doesn't work real well, it's tough. And I'm not trying to be biased here, but Kim hasn't said anything about it being hot, but they're in a building that's 110 years old.
Yeah.
There's a lot of buildings around.
Yeah.
Dumas built 2 new elementary schools. They're both open now. So when I grew up, there was 4 elementary schools: Hillcrest, Green Acres, Sunset, and Morningside. And 2 were north of First Street and 2 were south of First Street. Well, they built 2 new ones and combined Hillcrest and Green Acres district into one of those, and Morningside and Sunsets into the other. And I'm a numbers guy. I'm thinking, okay, that's smart. One building, one set of maintenance and operation. Yes, you're going to have your teachers are going to have to both come to the groups. Your payroll's probably not going to change much. You could trim down some administration if you wanted to. But I could see a lot of pluses for that. But I'm sitting there thinking, what do you do at the old buildings? Because like the school I went to was 3 years old when I went to first grade. And then I thought, oh my gosh, Hillcrest, 68-year-old building.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the newest one they had in town.
Oh, wow.
There's a reason why it was time to build new buildings.
Yeah,
but I hadn't thought about that because to me, Hillcrest is still a brand new building.
Yeah.
I'm 63 years old, fixing to be 64, and that building was only 3 years old when I went to school. So it's a 60-plus-year-old building, and if that's your newest one, I can't imagine what the others were starting to have from a maintenance standpoint.
Yeah.
Sad part in this day and time, and I'm not knocking builders, it's just materials and things. They don't build them like they used to.
They sure don't.
The bones in those old buildings were good. The junior high in Dumas is the original school building in Dumas, and it still runs.
Yeah.
It's got good bones.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So
they did build them different back then.
yeah, it's too early.
Yeah, me too.
For me, but I'm not. They're not going to listen to me.
And the athletics have already started,
Sure.
in our area. So with cross country and volleyball.
Volleyballs. They've had some of them had 2 matches this week.
Yeah, I know already. So yeah, it's here, but it also cuts down like the old camp days of August for football players as well. Where you kind of just it was all football and no school. Now you're thrown into it right now and practices start. So as I understand it, PD this year, we'll have to talk to Coach Mims. I got to get this, but as I understand it, they're going to practice all year from 6 to 8 a.m.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then maybe just do a little work in the after school. But the main practice will be starting at 6 a.m.
I like it because it's cool.
Yeah.
If I was a high school kid, I probably wouldn't like getting up that early. But
every day it's going to teach them discipline.
There's some discipline involved in that, you bet. And,
yeah, I love that. So, hey, by the way, today is National Left-Handers Day. And
good to know. I'm married to one.
Yeah, it is National Left-Handers Day. I was a lefty. I am a lefty. Obviously, growing up, I was a lefty. We had a hanging elbow. When people used to write like this as you're looking at me, you know why? Because every desk was for right-handers.
Yep.
It would be the L, so your elbow was hanging over. That's why they curl around it, and then you don't want to mess up your paper too bad. I never went that method, you know what I mean? So I always tried to find a square desk, but left phones, people always say, no way phones were right-handed. Yes, they were, because when you answer the phone, you're going to hang it back up with where the cord was.
Twisted.
When we do it, we hang it up backwards so the cord's on the other side.
Yeah.
That's old school. There are no phones anymore, landlines. I'm going way back. But, I never really – I was fortunate where I went to school. They didn't make you right-handed or anything like that, and really was never looked down on. I'm kind of proud to be a lefty, but I will say this: we only had right-handed mitts at home. Okay, and I had a couple of brothers and a sister. And so this is my philosophy on it. Nobody else's. There's no science behind it. But so baseball, I throw right-handed. Football, any bigger ball, basketball, I do left-handed.
How do you play golf?
Right-handed.
So my wife plays right-handed. Gary Wells, I grew up with, was left-handed, played right-handed golf, and golf experts will tell you a left-handed person will be stronger in a golf because of the way the golf swing works. They'll be better than a natural right-hander because
that's interesting.
the way the function works with a golf swing.
Yeah. But anyway,
our youngest daughter's left-handed too.
Yeah,
and
no issues, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
Yeah,
I got to tell you this though. A friend of mine, Drew Blass, who's going to be the tournament director for the upcoming Corn Ferry Tour, I've become a friend of his. His son participated in, so they put together a little league team that was all left-handed, and they played in a tournament last weekend, I think in Virginia or somewhere.
Wow.
They had one right-handed batter, okay, but all the kids in the field were left-handed, and they made it to the championship game. So
wow.
The catcher, the middle infielders, all of them were left-handed. So how cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
You know, and they got it from all over. They'd really never played together before, and so it came together really well. But I like that idea.
You don't hear that.
I know.
Wow.
Maybe we'll get an all Kids Inc. left-handed team and
wouldn't that be something?
And throw them into a.
Whoa.
I may have to work on that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll put Coach Lance out there on that one. That would be.
By the way, the coaches are right-handed, so I don't know how that came about, but I think they have kids who are left-handed. But yeah, isn't that cool? That's a great idea, isn't it?
That's crazy.
I love that idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played golf with a guy from Borger who ended up becoming the head of the South Texas PGA. His office used to be at the 10th tee at the Woodlands, and they moved over into the Cypress area. But Mike Ray was a left-handed golfer and played at OU. He was fun to watch, but it's just different.
It is just different.
It's really different to watch.
Yeah, they seem to be smoother than most right-handers.
Real smooth.
And then the putt is totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always thought Mickelson was the best putter.
Yeah,
that left-handed putter.
Totally agree.
He was very good.
Yeah,
rolled the ball really well.
It just looks natural, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. I like that. So, what do we got on your mind today?
So I was just reading some stuff last night.
Yeah.
And I wrote some notes down.
Yeah.
University of Kansas. Did you see Booth gave him another $300 million?
No.
Yeah, he's giving them money to help get the stadium done. So I think they're going to use $75 million of it to help finish up all the stadium stuff, and then like $225 million of it's going into endowment for Kansas athletics.
NIL stuff?
I don't know if it didn't specifically say NIL, but I mean, my gosh, you start putting that kind of money in a endowment, you're going to generate a lot of new revenue.
Wow, I did not see that. So
there's
the facilities have definitely improved, obviously.
I attribute that to, I'm going to say Cody Campbell's a trendsetter. He's a trendsetter.
Yeah.
And how much more of that are we going to see across the nation at some of these big schools that have some pretty high-powered alumni start kicking in some big dollars to keep up with the Joneses? And so it'll be interesting to follow that little trend right there.
I like that idea.
Because Kansas is not on the map in terms of, a lot of
they
the
are
stuff
ranked in the top 20
other than their basketball program.
Is on the map.
And Michael Stigler from Canyon running track there. They're not the first school you're going to throw out when you start talking about NCAA athletics.
No,
unless it's basketball season.
Men's basketball, yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see how much more of that you start to see around the country at some of these big schools, because there's some high-dollar alumni at a lot of these schools.
No, there are. That's interesting. And then specifically, I think what Cody Campbell's done, Jimmy, is like, I'm designating this not – to have my, obviously he's got his name on the football field. That was the trend back then. Yeah. Now it's specifically to impact a program where John Sellers, his wife, played Texas Tech softball. We've talked about it before. Yeah. And they offered the young lady from Stanford $1 million to pitch.
Yeah, she's pretty good too.
And she made it to the national championship game.
Yeah, she's pretty good too.
And she's back next year with another $1 million.
Saw another deal on the wire last night. I didn't know anything about this. Lamar Jackson has dropped his lawsuit against the Aikman Corporation, I guess, over the term 8, the trademark 8.
Yeah.
Aikman's company trademark
is 8.
8.
Yeah.
And I guess Lamar had some things that had 8 in it too. and I guess he finally just dropped it. And I'm thinking, man, do you people not have anything bigger to worry about than a number?
Yeah. That's interesting.
It is.
Because, I mean, Aikman, I didn't even know that was going on.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Aikman was here a couple of years, or maybe about a year ago, promoting with the Sod Poodles, promoting 8.
Yeah.
He has an 8 beer or whatever. But, yeah, interesting.
So, top 25's out, college football.
I saw that. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, too. Go ahead.
Texas, both polls, number 1. That's a big target.
It is, and it's the first time in the history of the school, which you wouldn't think this, that not only in the coaches poll for the first time, but now in both. I mean, why not? I mean, Penn State was 5 votes behind him in the AP poll.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that means nobody really knows for sure. Now, we do know they respect both those programs, but I find that very interesting.
The Longhorns and the electric football men. That's what I call them when I was a kid. Because Penn State always just looked like your little electric football men, plain uniform, no logos.
I love that. Do you like that look? The simple look? I do too.
Yeah, I do.
It's classic. I hope they don't ever change.
Yeah, I do.
I will say this. Let's give Coach Sark credit. He came in a situation, that it's national championship or bust when you sign up to coach at the University of Texas.
Yep.
And it's really not fair because that program was not on that level. When he got there, and what he brought from his SEC knowledge, and now they're in the SEC obviously, was we have to build a really, really powerful defensive front and a really, really powerful offensive front.
Yeah, and he learned from the best.
He learned from the best.
Yeah, he learned absolutely from the best.
Yeah, and coaching with Saban, that's gonna do it to him. But I've been impressed. I will say that what he's done, the culture he's built there. I'm not inside that locker room at all, but it's really nice too.
Quarterback controversy at all times.
Yeah, he could have a. You're right. Wade's handled the Arch Manning thing. Good point, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean most people probably wanted him playing, and he didn't bend to that. He went with his gut.
Yeah.
And right, wrong, good or bad, that's what he did. And
Quinn Ewers struggled in his first start in preseason football, and so everybody's freaking out like, well, how good's Arch going to be if he couldn't beat out this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no joke. So,
how would you like to be? Is it fair to be Arch Manning right now, and you have not really started any significant games in your career, and you're already a Heisman Trophy favorite?
I think that kid will handle it fine. Personally, I do. Just
because it looks like he can.
I think his DNA's in. He's got enough DNA in him that he can deflect all that and focus on football. We'll see. But I think he's just a raw football player. At the end of the day, I think he's just a raw football player. And there's a difference between being a raw football player and a football player.
Yeah.
Those ones that have the moxie for the game and don't have to think about certain things when they do it.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a raw football player and one that loves the game but maybe doesn't have the raw talent and the skill set to navigate what they do. And the mental aspect of it at that level is tremendous. It's something I don't comprehend. I can sit here and talk about it, but I don't comprehend it. I don't know what it's like. I don't have any clue what it's like to be in their shoes. But I can think about it.
Yeah, I agree. What cracks me up, Jimmy, is like, okay, when you have these famous uncle and grandfather and all this, you know what I mean? So, like, they're on podcasts, things like that. Like Archie Manning, his grandfather was a famous quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, ran for his life, Ole Miss as well. And they're asking him, and he goes, "Oh, Arch won't leave after this year." Yeah. He's so all of a sudden he's got to answer these questions, And he was just saying that he probably wants to experience a couple of years of college. And then Peyton Manning was pretty funny as well, saying that, Arch doesn't reach out too much like he used to. I think my, like he would send him a text back, and it'd be like 5-6 pages of text on hey, do this, and
he decided I don't need any more of that.
I think it's a little much. He goes, so I've learned my lesson, to cut it back a little bit.
That's funny.
But what a resource of information, though. You can call up Eli Manning or Peyton Manning or Archie.
Call Cooper. I mean,
Coops. Of course, you don't listen.
If he needs some comic relief.
Yeah.
Just call him.
Well, he's not going to listen to his dad as much. So yeah, but Texas Tech was 23 in that poll.
When's
Jimmy?
the last time Alabama wasn't in the top 5?
Ooh, I don't know. Great question.
I don't know. They're 8th, both polls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's a fair assessment
I don't
now.
know the last time they weren't in the top 5.
Yeah. Oklahoma was 18th. Tech was 23rd.
Okay.
So Tech has a chance if they can go like 5-0 out of the box. You know what I mean? They have a chance to move up that poll pretty quick because they're on the radar with all the talent. This is just my opinion with the voters. That's what they're looking at. But prove us. That's why they're in 23rd. Prove us. Yeah. Prove to us you're a legit.
USC wasn't in the top 25, were they?
I don't think so.
Riley's on the hot seat.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I think he's got to be on the hot seat. They paid him a lot of money to make that move, and he's made his money. Now it's time to produce. But I don't think they were in the top 25.
That's a tough school, man, because it's L.A. You know, you've got Hollywood, you've got the Lakers, you've got the Rams, you've got the Dodgers. You've got so much competition where you really don't have, like when you're in Normandy, it's all Oklahoma football.
Yeah, sure it is.
You know what I mean? So I think it'd be a hard place to coach, personally.
I agree.
Yeah. A lot of money there.
Last thing I had on my list is just a quick shout out to all of our friends in Sunray. Dadgum, they got tore up, and they've had a rough summer, the elevators and things up there. For a small town, that's a lot to hit with, and I've got a real good friend from high school that lives there, and I texted her, and they had a tree down, but, they were fine, and there was a lot of stuff. She said downtown looked like a war zone. Of course, the stadium took a big hit. And,
right. Starting school a week late,
later.
or so, which is smart.
That's rough. And so,
yeah. No,
we talk about getting hail damage on our car, and those people are sitting there with their houses tore up.
Yeah. I mean, well said. Yeah, I thought about that once I saw, and we always associate it with, oh my gosh, the press box is ripped up, but actually it's those houses, and like you just said, the downtown. It was kind of like Perryton when they got hit with that tornado a couple of years ago. It's just until you see it with your own eyes, you just don't know the devastation. Yeah. Like, think of that if that's your house, you know what I mean? It's gone.
It's a little personal to me. My mother happened to graduate from Sunray High School. My aunt and my uncles, and my granddad was the first mayor of Sunray, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a little personal to me,
That's
too.
That's awesome.
And a lot of friends, a lot of great memories I had growing up in Sunray that I would spend in with my grandparents over there, and a lot of weekends I spent with my granddad. He had a farm out north of town, and spent a lot of time out there. But still have a lot of friends in Sunray, Texas, and people that work there. Russell Gadboy's worked over there too.
For sure.
And so all these small towns that get hit like that, that's a massive dent in their economy and everything else. So prayers out to them, sending them good thoughts for all the stuff they've had to go through in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I love that. And then their football team has to prove, Mr. Lujan finally graduated. Yeah. But those young men have played a lot of games, won a lot of games the last 4 years. So these young guys have learned a lot, and I'm rooting for them. Actually, too, I always root for that team after the team, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who they've known once they graduate, they're going to look at us like, I don't know if you guys can do this. You know what I mean? So, and small town, you hear it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's all about it. It's one horse town.
It's good stuff. So. Anything else, man?
Nope, that was on my list.
I like it. I like it a lot. I pretty much got my list. Had to mention Left-Handers Day.
Yeah. I'll be sure and mention that to my wife this evening.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Middle Child Day, and she's the middle child. So
what?
Yeah. So she's had 2 days in a row. What's up with that?
Who came up with all these days?
I don't know.
When you and I were growing up, there was no day.
No.
There was Valentine's Day,
Labor Day, Memorial Day, Veterans Day.
Yeah. Birthday.
Yeah,
that was about it. Christmas.
Yeah. Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was about it. So, yeah, but I get a kick out of all the days they come up with. But it's.
I appreciate you doing this. Thanks for.
Yeah, no, I love doing it, man. And by the way, I played in the Coors along with one of your employees here. We weren't on the same team, Jerry Branch. Lester Campbell, shout out. I thought I was Lester. A good teammate. We struggled throughout the 3 days and did not even come close. Our goal is to get 8th or better. You get a card in the clubhouse, maybe $75.
Yeah.
Now, if you win it, you get like $750. We didn't come close to that, but it was good to get out there and compete a little bit. I've become mentally tougher because of it, but you have to remember to do that for 3 days because we had some bad holes, and they really – it's stupid. I mean, it gets you down, and you ruin the next shot. So, but it was a lot of fun, and I want to thank Lester Campbell for hanging out.
Lester's a good guy. We went to college together. I've known him a long, long time.
Yeah.
I did mention to you I retired from golf.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Your last experience. So
I'm done. I retired at Pheasant Trails Golf Course a couple 3-4 weeks ago.
Well, the way we played on Sunday, maybe we should retire.
I'm out.
Lester nights, though. So, hey, we can't thank you enough for joining us today. This is the Fieldhouse Podcast. Just a reminder, it is a production of the Kids Inc. Sports Network. And like we always say, we'll see you when we see you.